Hello and welcome to 3.0 TV. I'm your host Shubham Joshi. Web3 gaming sector is buzzing with a lot of activities these days. As the technology is continuously evolving, the sector appears more promising than ever. It is important to do a quick check on the latest developments and the future prospects. To give us his view and insight into the gaming sector and help us navigate through this most exciting Web3 vertical, I have been joined by Mr. Arad Malhotra, founder and CEO of Report to Earn and co-founder of Skyless Games. He was also included in Forbes 30 Under 30 Games 2016. On that note, let's invite a special guest. Welcome to 3.0 TV, sir. So my first question to you is, as crypto gaming has turned out to be one of the biggest narrative in this year's bull run, and we have witnessed how Bitcoin's price rise prompted the rise in the major gaming tokens like Ronin, Pixel, Axie Infinity. What, in your opinion, has led to this boom in Web3 gaming and GameFi sector, sir?
It's a very exciting time, especially with the bull run coming back right now. There's a lot of interesting things happening which are combining traditional gaming and the Web3 world. What's interesting is even at the market crash that happened over the last couple of years, blockchain gaming was one of the few use cases that actually was not affected as badly as some of the other markets. So overall, it's a very, very exciting time. There's some very exciting applications of gaming and gamification that have been integrated into Web3. And from a market perspective, this is probably one of the most exciting times as crypto becomes mainstream, and gaming, of course, has been growing year after year massively, especially after COVID. The amount of growth that we've seen of overall gamers in the world is fantastic. I do want to take a second just to note that the idea of what a gamer is has evolved over the years. There are close to 3 billion, or actually over 3 billion gamers in the world, which includes more gamers over the age of 51 than under the age of 18, and an average age of a gamer is 35. So, sometimes we stereotype and think that gamers are only for those hardcore gamers or kids. That has changed.
Continuing on that note, crypto projects, particularly blockchain-based games, have been highlighted in the media for negative reasons like scams, frauds, and cyber attacks. Even so, the industry has re-emphasized security measures to protect users and prevent potential scams. In contrast, we have also seen how Web3 gaming has a lot of beneficial use cases. So can you please highlight some of these examples?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked that question. Because with the bull run, of course, come a lot of negatives too, right? We saw in the last bull run that there was a lot of pump and dumps and fake projects essentially, but it's very important to emphasize on very positive use cases of Web3 and gaming in general. So there is an entire organization called Games for Change as an example that has for many, many years been focused on not using games just as an entertainment medium, but teaching people things, not just math and science, but teaching them how to be better human beings or cultural exchange and stuff like that from a gaming perspective. For Web3 now, there's been a lot of great use cases, especially in the sustainability space, looking at tokenizing things such as carbon credits. There are also other use cases in terms of government. In fact, we ourselves as Report to Earn are working on a use case to make the world a better place by having people being rewarded for reporting daily things. So there's a lot of very interesting use cases and a lot of positive impact that can be created just by leveraging the technology versus just games being an entertainment product essentially, or Web3 just being about crypto. So I think I really want to emphasize that again, there's about over maybe 70% of coins out there actually might not survive, might not see the light of day, but some of these really strong use cases beyond just the trading aspects are going to be the ones that survive and thrive. Not very different than the dot-com bubble back in the early 2000s.
Alright, sir, you spoke very well about the use cases of Web3 gaming, and there's a lot of optimism in this sector with new gaming projects being launched in 2024. And we have also witnessed projects designing efficient tokenomics for their games, with some 250 million worth of tokens being unlocked in the March itself. So what are your thoughts about this?
Yes, so there's a lot of interesting projects that are happening. Illuvium is obviously one which is very, very popular and is doing pretty well essentially. Interestingly, there hasn't been a big breakout success other than the first major project, which was Axie Infinity. And I think the reason for that is that right now, again, the use cases for gaming have not been refined very well. The core reason for that is that people are too focused on just the crypto side of things versus the fundamental solid game mechanics. So these 4 or 5 titles that we talk about, like I mentioned, Illuvium, Axie Infinity, you have Sandbox. These are successful because they have very strong game mechanics and they're fun to play, and then they integrate crypto into it. What I think a lot of developers are doing wrong today is that they're just trying to follow the markets and again trying to hype up the coins and the tokenomics of the coin versus fundamentally creating fun games and then trying to integrate essentially what the tokenomics should be in order to make it financially successful. But again, since you specifically asked about tokenomics, I think Axie is a very good example again because they actually failed with the initial tokenomics where the cost per coin became so high, which again to the average user meant that the point of entry into the game became extremely high. And then they modified that to have what we call as a dual token system where they had a more balanced economy. We can definitely talk more details, but the idea is that you do not want these games to be prohibitive. You actually want them to be welcoming so that there is higher sustainability in terms of user growth as well as user retention.
All right, sir. A lot of investors and gamers believe that adding AI to Web3 games will spark an explosion of innovation. What are your thoughts about this and what is the relation between AI and gaming? If you can please highlight, sir.
So AI and gaming go hand in hand for many, many years. I know it's become very popular now after the ChatGPT age. And again, for some of the younger generation, they think AI is brand new. But AI and gaming, again, go hand in hand way back into even before the 60s or the 70s. And some of the strongest use cases of AI were gaming. So for example, Pac-Man, a traditional game that even non-gamers would have played, the way that the ghosts follow you around is based on AI. So coming to present day, essentially, AI and the way that it is progressing has multiple different applications and multiple different ways to improve the gaming industry. Of course, the most obvious is having more sophisticated characters within the game, essentially. So your NPCs or non-playing characters and the way that they interact with you is going to be a lot more natural. AI tools are also going to be used for the game development process itself. Game development is very, very expensive, or has been very, very expensive and tedious, essentially needing multi-talented teams and very, very high budgets. But thanks to a lot of AI tools, from the graphics side to the music production that goes into games to, of course, the development itself, the amount of progress is extremely significant. And on the flip side, gaming itself has contributed to the success or the breakout of AI because, as we know, the way AI is advanced is primarily because of GPUs, which are your graphical processing units. And these GPUs have been advanced in order to support use cases of gaming. So it's literally, it's a marriage. AI can't really survive without gaming or cannot thrive without gaming. And on the flip side, gaming has a lot to take from AI, both in terms of the development, the application, as well as, again, future ways of combining the two to create something very powerful.
Well, thank you, Mr. Arad Malhotra, for explaining us the dynamics of the Web3 gaming sector. Well, that's all in today's special segment. This is me, Shobham Joshi, signing off. For more such interesting updates and market analysis, keep watching 3.0 TV or log on to our website or scan the QR code. Thank you.